This recipe produces an intermediate product that you will be able to use for many other dishes, as I'll explain. I made this video to answer 3 different questions from viewers. First, if I purchase a huge primal piece of beef to save money, what can I do with the less desirable cuts? I've also been asked, since freezing meat at home will ruin the texture, what can be done to preserve it? Finally, some basic advice about cooking with beer. The beef cooked in this way is inexpensive and delicious, and best of all, it will elevate some of your other recipes in ways that will amaze you.
Now, first thing with the meat is you need to pay attention to where the grain is running, and you also want to select a piece that has some marbling and some connective tissue in it. If you pick a piece that's just like solid red meat, you're going to be in for one tough, stringy final dish. Now, you're going to want to cut the pieces in this direction so you have short grains running the length, but also often is the case, especially in Russia, you got this band here. It's clearly visible band of tissue that runs around here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it from here. This is going to have to be excised out. Now these pieces just cut into this sort of steaks. You don't want to cut it too small. You can always cut it up more later. Now I've got about 700 grams of the meat. I'm going to put some coarse salt on it. And we'll just pick it up and put it back down on the counter a little bit to get a little bit of salt on the other side. It's not too critical. In this case, I'm using the pressure cooker itself as the pan. There's no point in dirtying another pan. It's pretty hot. It's about 400 Fahrenheit right now. Just measured it with an infrared thermometer. Adding a little olive oil to this, a couple tablespoons. And I'm going to begin searing this meat. All it's got on it right now is the coarse salt. And I'm doing it in 2 batches. I have the heat up fairly high. It's almost 8, it's about 7 3/4. And if you try to move the meat and it's stuck to the pan, it means it's not done yet. You want to cook it until it will release easily. About 7 minutes, 6-7 minutes goes by. You can flip these easily. And you've got some real dark caramelization on this side. That's not burnt, that's not black. It's just really dark brown. If you see the pan is looking dry, you can always add a little bit more olive oil to it. You don't want to have the steaks on a completely dry Teflon pan. The second batch is cooking away in the pan. I just want to show you the level of crust here up close. This is really dark, hard crust. It's not burnt. There's no charcoal here. This is just really deep caramelization. That's what you want. It's the secret to this. Now, when it's finished, move this to the thin platter. This is the second batch of beef here. Reducing the heat down now to 5, and I'm going to add the sliced onions in. And I'm going to deglaze with that DOPPLEBOCK. Yeah, you're going to have to scrape the bottom a little bit here. Even in the case of a Teflon pan like this, it's going to need some scraping because that was some pretty intense flan forming there. But there's no burn. There's no burn here. That's because I kept adding olive oil. Whenever it got too dried out, I added a little bit more olive oil. Keep it going. Don't let it actually dry out and burn. Okay. Now, we cook this for a couple of minutes. Let the temperature equalize a little bit, and let this onion soften up just a little bit. And to show you what this looks like, now I'm going to add. This is actually bittersweet paprika. I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of this in all. I add 1 teaspoon on this side. Then when I put it in the pan and flip it over, I'll add the other teaspoon. Bittersweet paprika is something I make myself at home. You'll have to get the second volume of my cookbook to find out how, if you want to make it yourself. Otherwise, you can try to find it online. Or you can use regular paprika. It will still work. It's Been a couple of minutes. These onions have started to broke up a little bit. I'm adding the garlic cloves in. You don't need to peel these because it's all going to be strained off anyway. I'm adding the beef now, and I'm adding the side that was sprinkled with the bittersweet paprika. I'm adding that's the seasoned side down, of course, so that we end up with seasoning on both sides. And we've got all these juices that were on the plate accumulated. I'm kind of mixing this around with the extra paprika, and I'm just going to add that right into the mixture here. Also, okay, now more dried paprika. Don't worry about it being too even because of this is all going to even out naturally anyway. I've got a branch here of fresh rosemary, and I'm going to put a couple of dollops, 30% smetana. You can use creme fraiche or even sour cream. Sour cream not as good. And since I have it on hand, I don't always add this, but since I have some on hand, I'm going to add a little bit of thyme to this. It's this extra little touch. Okay, this is all ready. This is going to get sealed up now. We're going to begin the pressure cooking. And as soon as it comes up to pressure, as you can see by the little wisps of steam out of here, lower the temperature way down to like 1.5 to 2 on a scale of 1 to 10. Because you want to cook this at pressure. You don't want to blow off all the flavors and the liquid out of it. Pull the pieces of meat out of this and pass the liquid through a sieve. Now this, you can either get the fat off it with a fat separating pitcher, or you can leave it in your refrigerator, let it sit for a few hours or overnight, and pick the fat off the top. This is what we wanted to arrive at. We've got this liquid, we've got this meat. You might need to pick off some pieces of rosemary from it. This is intensely flavored beef that's suitable for many different applications, recipes.
If you like my videos, look for my cookbook, now available through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other internet bookseller sites. Also look for my cocktail book, Cocktails of the South Pacific and Beyond, Advanced Mixology, available through Amazon online.